Hello, welcome to the Joe Cortez Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment and the boxing capital of the world. Well, this week we have a special guest. He's multitask type of a guy. He does many different things. His name is Francisco Soto. Francisco Soto has a business called
Mailmax.
Mailmax is a tracking service. They follow your packages, anything around the world. Now, first in the United States, now you spread all over the world now. Mailmax is a company that tracks every package that you have out there. Tell me, first of all, how did you get involved with that?
You know, it happened that it was in the 80s. I finished college and, was looking for, getting a real job. So I looked at the top 100 companies in America to work for, and there was a company by the name of Pitney Bowes. I didn't know what that was about.
Right.
Ended up that they were big in the mailing and shipping business.
Right.
So I ended up working with them as a sales representative, and then I became a manager and so forth for about 6 years. And then after that, I decided to kind of start my own business. And I started in the house. I converted the garage into a mail room, shipping room, and I was getting a lot of jobs from companies here locally. And then the competition of this company called Pitney Bowes from France approached me and says, would you be interested in reselling our French products here in the United States to compete with Pitney Bowes? Back then, they didn't have any competition. So I said, you know what? I would, because I believe in their products. And here we are, 20 years later. We have innovated. Obviously, a lot of people know that mail is in trouble now because of the internet and things. So people don't mail checks anymore and things of that nature. So we have to kind of change our ways to offer solutions that include digital, that include, okay, so some people still want to receive that bill or that communication via mail, but there are some people that want to receive it electronically, or they want to go to a website to download a statement or something like that. So we have transitioned to that. Now, big is shipping and tracking, because with COVID, as you know, people started buying more online. And so with that, a business that was not getting as many packages, all the employees are now getting packages at those businesses. And so now they need to be able to find a way to track where the packages come in and go. Give you an example, like MGM Grand, the hotel.
I'm sorry,
right?
I didn't.
The MGM hotel has 5,000 rooms. A big convention comes in. They have to be able to know where all the packages are coming from, where do they have to distribute them, and make sure they have a way to capture a signature and that they deliver it to the right place.
Now, if they're lost and found, there's a lot of lost and found in hotels, I imagine.
Yes. So
How do you guys handle that?
So basically, another way that we help out the hotels is, a lot of people lose items, whether it's at a restaurant, you go to the restaurant, and you might take up your jacket out to eat, and you walk away without your jacket, or you leave your credit card, or you might leave your cell phone. So there are, like a hotel like the Wing, they receive about 500 calls a day. Just for lost and found items. So then, all those items, they need to go somewhere and be checked into, so they know where they're at, and they can be given to the rightful owner.
So you have ways of tracking it down for the
Yes.
individuals.
Absolutely.
So that makes it much easier for the hotel, because a lot of work for the hotels to cover all 500 a day. Can you imagine? I mean, that's just unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's crazy. A family goes into Vegas and they bring their kids, and little Johnny left a blanket in the room. Now little Johnny can't go to sleep, and so they're calling the hotel and says, little Johnny left a blanket, and so try to find the blanket at the Wing Hotel in one room, and where it is, and who has it, who picked it up, and where do they put it. So they catalogize, so they put a barcode to each item, and our system basically is able to track whether it's a blanket or whether it's a ring or a watch or earrings or whatever it might be, and be able to find the right phone.
How about if you lose your girlfriend?
I don't know that you want to track that, right? No.
Okay, you was out there watching. Francisco is a good friend of mine we go back to the boxing days where Francisco was an inspector, still is an inspector for the boxing matches. You're here for the Triple G Saul Canelo Alvarez tomorrow night at the T-Mobile Arena.
Yes.
You'll be working the card tomorrow night.
Yes. I don't know my assignment yet, but yes, my wife and I flew last night from Florida, and we're here for your show. And tomorrow is going to be the big fight, so it's going to be exciting. But
tell me now, how do you get involved with as an inspector in boxing? How did that happen?
Well, I was sharing with you about my days with Pitney Bowes as a salesperson, sales manager, and there was an opening for the general management of the Nevada district. So they offered me the job, and I took it because I love boxing. And I figured, you know what, there's got to be a way that I can become involved because I love the sport. Back then, we remember Julio Cesar Chavez just was coming up in the ranks, and
right.
Marco Antonio Barrera was coming up in the ranks, and Eric Morales, all these Mexicans that just made every Mexican national wanted to be involved in the sport some way, somehow. Yeah. So back in the day, there was a gentleman by the name of Mark Ratner.
Mark Ratner, he was the director of
the director of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and Tony Leto was the chief inspector.
Right.
And I tell you, every time I went to a fight, and I went to every fight, I will bug him down and says, give me a chance. Give me a chance. Give me a chance. You will not be disappointed.
You want to be an inspector.
I want to get involved some way, somehow. And back then, one of my best friends and customers was Mitch Halpern.
Mitch Halpern, great. May he rest in peace, a young referee that I helped train along with Richie Steele.
Yes.
We trained him. We got him to do big championship fight. He did the Tyson Holyfield fight.
Yes, he did De La Hoya Trinidad. Remember?
That's right. He did that, right.
Yeah. So, yeah, Mitch was a great guy, and he's the one that gave me a push into the commission.
Yeah.
Well,
I spoke to his mother last week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I stayed in touch with his mother. Mitch passed away about 20 years already.
Yes, 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years?
Yeah.
About now.
Yeah. But I remember being in that ring when I'd be giving instructions to the fighters, and you would be in the ring with the fighter because that's part of your duty to make sure that everything's done correctly. You kept control. You're like the policeman in the corner.
Correct.
You had to control the cornermen, the relatives that are there of the fighters, the ringside doctor. You have to make sure that the tape of the fighters and the gloves was on correctly. The shoelaces, everything.
The wraps.
The wraps, making sure that the canvas is nice and dry. You guys had a tough job to do as an inspector.
Yeah, we're the first ones out. First one's in and last one's out.
Right.
Yeah, it's.
You guys were the eyes and ears for the referees because you helped us a lot. The referee's in charge. However, you can't do it without your team. You're one of the team players that was in there. Every time I look at you in the corner, I saw you as an inspector. I knew I had a good team of officials working the car with me that night.
Yeah, there's so much things that could go wrong that people don't even think about.
Exactly.
You think about you walking a fighter from their dressing room to the arena, and you see how they are surrounded. But you ever think about, let's say, remember it happened to Naseem Hamed Barrera when you were the referee.
Right.
Somebody threw a bottle at Naseem Hamed as he was coming down to the ring.
Yeah.
Imagine tomorrow's fight, how important it is for the economy of the state and the city.
Right.
And what if somebody gets caught on the way to the walk?
Yeah.
And so we have to watch not only, in the dressing rooms, but through the walk, into the ring, be the eyes and ears of the referee and the doctors in the corner.
And you guys you're like the bodyguards, really, of the fighters, of everybody, really. That's your job, to make sure everything goes correctly. 'Cause we can't do it all. We're in the ring. But outside of the ring, even while we're in the ring, something happens. We have to call timeout to look at a cut of a fighter. And then the doctor will come up, and next thing you know, the cornerman's trying to come up there. And you got to grab, what's your duty there? When the cornerman's trying to come up there to be with the doctor, what do you guys do?
Separate.
You got to take the doctor. You got to take the fellow. You can't be up with the corner with the doctor.
Right.
Only the doctor can be in there.
Correct.
Right? And you got to make sure that the cornermen are not working on the fighter. If he's cut, according to the doctor, you got to make sure the cornermen don't go in there to work on him.
Yep.
While we're doing the
Yep.
inspection of the severity of the cut.
Right. Just thinking of what, as you were saying that, one of the things that happen, some of the things that happen is the cornermen have towels.
Right.
And sometimes, if a kid's taking a beating, and, you might think, okay, I'm going to let it go further.
Right.
But, the old days, people used to throw a towel.
Right.
And, if you think about it, anybody can throw a towel from any way, shape, or form. If you see a towel flying to your shoulder from the back of you, you might stop the fight.
Yeah.
And so, we have a way to bring the cornerman. If the chief second wants to stop the fight, we got to bring him up.
To the
It's
ring
gotta
apron, and then wave the flag.
Wave the flag.
The towel there, and get the attention of the referee to stop the fight.
Correct.
No more throwing the towel in.
No more throwing the towel in.
Exactly.
So things like that, that people don't think about. The wraps. You think about.
The hand wraps done in the dressing room.
There's rules.
You guys are there to make sure that the wraps are put on correctly, correct?
That they're using the right materials, the right length of the materials.
The tape and
that
the
they're
wraps.
Following the rules of the commission. Every commission is different.
Right.
And there's a lot of controversy that sometimes happens.
So what are the rules here in Nevada when it comes to putting on? Can you put on tape on the skin first, or can you put on the wrap first? You got the gauze, or can you put on the tape and then gauze and then tape? How does that work?
So basically, we allow to put tape once around the wrist and once around the thumb. And that's because a lot of fighters during training are used to just put a lot of tape onto the skin to protect the hand from breaking.
Right.
But during a fight, the rules are once around the wrist, once around the thumb,
That's tape.
and tape. And then you can put gauze and then tape again.
Okay. Now,
and so forth.
how much tape is allowed for the fighters? And each fighter, how much tape is given to how many yards?
So you have 20 feet of tape.
20 feet of tape.
30 feet of tape, excuse me, and 30 yards of gas.
Okay, now the tape, are they allowed to put it over the knuckle?
No, you have to go half an inch from the knuckle.
Behind the knuckle. The gauze can go over the knuckle, but the tape can only come up
3/4 of an inch.
right up to the knuckle, but not over the knuckle.
Not over the knuckle.
Okay.
At any moment. So that has to be outside. They're also not allowed to do other things because every cornerman, they have a different style.
Yeah.
Some people come from Mexico, some people come from Asia,
Europe, different places. They have different ways of different techniques.
Yeah.
And you gotta have to make sure that what kind of solution they can use for if there's a cut, what kind of coagulant are they allowed to use? What are they allowed to use when they have a cut?
Oh, you're gonna put me in the spot right now. Aberdeen.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's a different coagulant that you allow, but they can.
I have my book with me every time I go to the fight.
Okay,
so
but they're not allowed to use other stuff other than what's in the guidelines.
That's correct.
Okay, and if they're using something that's not right there, you can call time. You can hold them right there. You can't be using this. Sometimes, how about the water? What kind of water can they drink?
Well, they're only allowed to bring bottle. Normally what they do is bring bottled water, but sometimes they want to use, like those green Gatorade holders that they can squeeze in the head and so forth. And so we just got to make sure that, so if they have a bottle of water, we just initial it, that we inspected it, that it was closed.
Right.
So then when they bring that bottle of water into the ring, they really don't have anything else because we pretty much checked everything that they were going to bring into the ring to ensure that their water is going to go there. But they can bring Gatorade, they can bring, other things that are, that don't have caffeine, as long as there is no caffeine.
Yeah, one time there was a fighter that was fighting. I'm not going to mention no name of the trainer, but they were in the corner. You can hear with the microphone, you can hear in the corner, and the guy said, "Give me the water." And he said, "No, not that one. Give me the one that I mix." You heard that, right? A very famous phrase that was used in a particular fight. We're not going to mention the name, but he got banned forever from boxing.
Yeah.
But that trainer is no longer involved with boxing. But he tried to do something. What was wonder? His fighter did win the fight that night, but you got to wonder what did he have in that water? He said, "This is over 20 years ago." He said, "No, give me the one that I mix." And this is why we have to always be very, very strong about
Yeah.
your inspectors, you guys, making sure you guys are doing your job right, making sure that what they have you tested before, make sure the water's given, the water given to them by you guys, not
Yeah.
what they bring in on their own.
Correct. I mean, we have had issues, without naming names, and people putting stuff in the wraps, people, manipulating the gloves back in the day, remember?
Yeah, there was a time where there was a fighter that his trainer took the gauze.
Yes.
The glove had kind of horsehair inside.
Yep.
The way the gloves were made back then, and they ripped up there and took up the gauze out. The fighter came in there with nothing but leather over his regular fist.
Yes.
And he ended up beating the fighter. And when the father came over to shake the hand of him for winning the fight, he felt like there was
Nothing. And
no padding on the glove.
Right.
He said, "Hey, wait a minute, there's no padding on that glove." And they stopped him right in the ring. They arrested him right in the ring. They took him out. The police took him out and he got suspended. They went to jail, and the trainer went to jail.
Right.
They both got suspended from boxing forever. This way.
They should.
Years ago, that was a Billy Collins Jr. fight
Yeah.
back in New York with Luis Resto.
Luis Resto was the,
and Panama Louis. They both got suspended forever.
Right. And then we had the Margarito situation in L.A.
Margarito, yeah. So what happened there with that?
Well, apparently there was plaster of Paris in the wraps.
Plaster of Paris in the wraps.
In the wraps. So again, we got to be very careful that we watch every single thing that goes on the wraps, making sure that everybody is following the rules, and it's the same treatment for one side than there is for the other side. There's absolutely the same treatment.
So within the dressing room, you have one cornerman from the team goes on the other side of the other fighter,
Yes.
and one of the other fighter goes on the other fighter's side.
Yeah.
So they're both watching, making
They're
sure
watching.
that the wraps, along with you guys that are watching as well.
Right, and then they're allowed to, they might have questions, why are you allowing this, or why are you allowing that, or why is it like that? Because, again, they're not very familiar with the way we do it here, the rules in Nevada. So they sometimes ask questions, but they are to ask us. They're not allowed to touch the other fighter's hand or touch their gloves. They can inspect all that and be present, but they cannot,
Now, when it comes to we're very, very strict about doing the drug testing here in Nevada.
Yeah.
And one of the tests that they do is the urine test after the fight.
Before and after.
Before and after. Okay. So after the fight, when they go into, they have to go to the bathroom. You guys got to be in there actually watching, to making sure that what's being put in that bottle is coming from themselves and not from another bottle in their pocket.
Yeah.
In the robe that they may be having on, right?
Yeah, I mean, talk about having to police that. Yes, I mean that's a critical part of ensuring that the contest is safe for everybody, and we're in a semi-equal field, and we have got a lot of people, whether it's in boxing or the other mixed martial arts, to where they find tricky ways of trying to hide things, to try to put a fast one on us, and they get caught. They get caught.
I mean, they can come in there with. I heard back in the day they would have the robe on, and in the pocket, the trainer was the one that would urinate that little bottle. He keep it in his pocket. When he goes in the bathroom, he takes that little bottle and puts it in a little cup.
Exactly.
And he got caught doing that. That's why you guys now have to really have an eagle eyes, making sure that everything is being put in there that we're supposed to the right way.
Yeah.
And the females as well too. We had the female. That's why I have female inspectors that are there to also cover the females when they fight.
Yes.
MMA and boxing.
MMA and boxing, now with the females, there's a lot of female fights nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have very, very great ladies that are with the Nevada State Athletic Commission, the position of inspector, and they do a great job. And so
well, in a boxing and any sport, it's a tough sport, and the thing is that you be taking care of yourself the right way to make sure you win fight fair and square. We don't want any cheating going on. And there's a lot of that goes on sometimes, but you have to have people like yourselves, inspectors, to making sure that you're on top of your game.
Absolutely.
One of the things I want to mention also is that being I have you on the show here, I want to thank you, Francisco, in person, and to our viewers. When I was in the hospital with COVID, I had COVID, and I was in the hospital for 5 months. And this gentleman here, almost every day when I was in the hospital, he was always calling me to make sure that I was okay, and if I needed something. Sometimes I needed something, and I get a box mail something was come to the hotel. The same day, he said, Joe, I don't know if I get it to you tomorrow. How about if I get it to you today? I want to thank you so much.
Yeah.
Through my COVID situation, it was very tough. And but I came back. I refused to take the full count.
Yes,
you know?
and
I made it back. I still got a little spark of the old flash. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that was a tough time for all of us. I got it, my wife got it, but you got it really bad,
Yeah.
And to me, I just can't imagine being in a situation where you were, and not really try to look for positive things that you can do. And you went through it, you lived through it. I mean, you battled it big time. I mean, and you don't really understand what people go through unless they have somebody like what you went through, because boy, did you had a tough time.
You know better than anybody else out there, because you are every day on that phone.
Yeah.
You want to make sure I was okay. You would call me sometimes twice a day, making sure I was okay.
Yeah, I know, and I'll do it again.
I will thank you for that. I love you for that. And
yes,
I was felt that you as a good friend, but you really show your true colors when you was definitely on that phone every day, making sure that I was okay.
Yeah.
And that's what we need a little bit more of these days. We need individuals out there to care for one another and pay it forward. And
Yes.
this is where we learn to have a caring heart, loving for individuals out there, that we keep going forward, stay in good health,
Yes.
and making sure that we watch out for one another.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you only live one time in this world, and when we go, we don't take anything with us.
That's it.
That ring is not going with you. This beautiful coat's not going with you. But you know what? Experiences come with you, and the people that you help, you leave that legacy behind. Whether you help a family out, or you encourage somebody get a career or whatever it is. That's the only way you're going to go.
Yeah,
and that's the only thing we take with us. So.
Exactly. Well, I left my mark in boxing. I left my mark on this
Yes.
planet as far as what I want to do. But my thing has always been about helping people out there, get people on the right track, helping them move ahead. How I'm the kind of guy, I like to open doors for everybody.
Right.
I want to make sure that
Well,
people make it.
I remember, several years back, I remember you coming into the Latin Chamber of Commerce and being involved with the Latin Chamber of Commerce. I remember you also, helping me out in my business. And when I had the I invited my customers over to
Right.
my business.
Right.
You were always there to
nice.
shake hands and stuff like that.
Beautiful building you have here in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And you had the nice setup there.
Yeah.
And that's where you started your Mailmax.
Yep.
Mailmax.
Mailmax.
And it's a great business. And you individuals out there, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, how can they get to your website?
It's www.mailmaxsolutions.com. That's the general website that has all of our products and services. Another website that we have where it shows our tracking system that people can inquire about is R as in Robert, T as in Thomas, I as in India, rtdiq.com. rtdiq.com stands for Receive, Track, Deliver Intelligence.
Okay.
And so those are the two sites. We're located here in Nevada, and we have a big presence here because this is our community, and so most of my customers are here. But I have now since moved to Florida, as you know, and we started doing a lot of business over there as well.
Yeah. But you're worldwide, really.
internationally.
But you're actually worldwide.
Yeah, we travel all over the place. We have we do a lot of hospitality, so cruise ships, hotels, amusement parks. So they have anything that needs to be tracked, whatever it is. Hospitals, we do a lot of fair share of hospitals. They need to track vaccines or whatever, medicine or whatever they're going to give to a patient. Every time they scan that barcode,
Your barcode.
it's basically utilizing some sort of software.
It's tracking something.
Yeah.
So it's tracking everything with the software. I mean, this is amazing that you've done that, and you've gone such a long way. I'm so proud of you for what you've accomplished. But you always seem to come back for the big fights. You come here to Las Vegas, Nevada, the boxing capital of the world, and the man Francisco said, Joe, I got to make it. And he said, no matter what, it's in my blood, right?
You know what? That's one of the things, the biggest passions that I have. I moved to Florida, and I wish I could move boxing with me over there. So no, I have to come here because this is the boxing capital of the world, and they have the greatest events, and it's part of history. And I worked the first two fights, and I thought they were great. And so, looking at tomorrow, I think it's going to be a tremendous fight.
Yeah,
Nobody knows what's going to happen.
Well, the first fight was a draw.
The first one was a
split draw. The second
controversial split draw.
Yeah, and then the second one, Canelo won.
Canelo won.
A lot of fans also thought that Triple G won that fight.
Yeah.
Canelo got the decision.
To me, it's like you throw in the air and it lands, and it could go either way. I mean, you can have a case to argue either way.
It's an inspector. I know you can't make no prediction because that's not your job. But I mean, the fans out there watching saying, they still give Triple G a chance. But Triple G, though, is 40 years young. I mean, 40 years in boxing. I mean, we look back at it. I remember when I refereed George Foreman when he knocked out Michael Moore at the age of 45.
So can it happen? Yes, right.
It can happen. I mean, the man's got the skill. Triple G is a good fighter, but Canelo is a super fighter as well.
Yeah.
He's won championships at the super welterweight, middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight. And now he's defending his title at 168. Unified belt, all 4 belts. That's a lot.
All the 4 belts are in play.
So all the marbles on the table tomorrow night when it comes to the big fight. The fans will be watching this fight.
Yeah. Age does have a factor in everything. I mean, I'm 53 right now. I tell you, when I was 40, I felt way better, more mobile than I do now. Yeah. And, even for those guys.
You got to take the vitamins that I take.
Okay.
Keeps you young, keeps you sharp,
okay, well,
ready to go.
You and I have to talk about that.
Hit with the left foot. If the left one will get you, the right one will.
Okay.
All right?
No, I got to do some exercise in your gym, lose some weight.
Well, I tell you, I lost a lot of weight when I caught that COVID.
Yes.
And my doctor said, Joe, stay the way you are now. You're 154, 155, you're good. Keep it at that weight.
Your championship weight.
I said, I may want to make a comeback. You never know. go back to my old fighting days, Yeah. For you guys out there, I was a fighter back in the days in New York, born and raised in New York. I won 6 Golden Glove championships, won the New York, the Easterns, the Nationals. Then when I was 18, I turned pro at the age of 18. I had an 18-1 record as a professional. And I kept breaking my hands. People said, well, you retired. I kept breaking my hands.
Yeah.
The referee kept stepping on them.
Yeah. Well, I tried the amateur route, and after a few fights, I said, no, you know what? I don't think I want to get hit anymore. I got to find a different way to get into the sport.
Yeah, you got into it. You got into a nice way.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that, having you on the show today is very important because our viewers out there want to know a little bit what goes on behind the scenes when it comes to business and when it comes to sports. And I brought in the right guy who can tell you guys about what's going on with Mel Max Solutions, which is something that you've been doing for the last 20 years. You've been very successful. We're very proud of you. What you're doing. You started from your little garage at home.
Yeah.
You opened up a little location, and then now you got your whole building. Now you're worldwide. I'm very proud. It takes a lot to do what you.
Yeah.
You got to say to yourself, you got to have confidence in yourself.
It's this is the greatest country in the world.
Right.
I'm originally from Mexico City.
Uh-huh.
I came here when I was 16 years old.
Hi, Chihuahua.
I wash dishes. I work in the farms. I work in warehouses. I went to school. I learned the language. Mm-hmm. It's not perfect, but this country has given me every opportunity that I ever had, including to be in the sport of boxing. Come on.
Yeah.
You know why?
The dream come true.
But anybody can make it happen, right?
Yeah, you can make it happen.
It's all here.
It's all you got to believe in yourself.
Yes.
Believe you can do it. Don't let nobody stop you. I tell my viewers out there, keep on going forward and pay forward because it's so important that you keep paying forward because no matter what you do in life, you have to always help other people out there. I can tell you guys out there that I am that individual that likes to. That's why I have this show because I like to bring people on my show from all walks of life to talk about whatever they're doing because I want people to know, like Francisco Soto, who's a first-class guy, friend, love him like a brother. He's always there. He got a beautiful wife who's in the studio here with us today. And we are very proud of both of you guys being on the show today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe.
Good luck there. And tomorrow night, don't forget to fight tomorrow night, Canelo Alvarez and Triple B Gennady Golovkin for the Super Middleweight Championship, undisputed champion Canelo Alvarez. We wish you guys both a best of luck. Good luck. See you next week.